me recording something in a space that I have not been in very long doesn't really allow the signal to come through. So we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it in my space, yes? And I did hear at the very beginning, see, I speak French, right? Right? See, my great-grandmother, a lot of my family is actually in France right now. But my great-grandmother, however you want to pronounce it, diccicco is how a French person would pronounce it. Diccicco is how Cuban or an Italian person would pronounce it. But yeah, the papers are in Paris. I actually have the photos, the paperwork, all of that stuff, like on a USB key. So yes, that's my family history. And it's going to make sense when you hear the very first lines of what he is going to say, because what is being discussed there is he is telling someone that he is down at the cafe, and then you hear someone say something about a chocolate drink, and then Madame Diccicco. Yes? Listen, this is all the way back in 1969. What a gem of a video. Yes, I am so glad I came across these VHS tapes. It's going to blow your fucking mind.
Hey, Georgia, looking for quality, affordable health insurance?
Everything is a fucking commercial.
Il y a le chauffeur, non, je parle du chauffeur. Mais il a aussi, il a pas de années, je veux dire.
Sir, excuse me. Till now, we were listening to you, but we're representing an American network. Mm-hmm. And could we also have a few words in English with you about this story that happened to your son this morning? Well, I think we better start from the beginning. What time did you get the call that was advising you that your son at 8:15? And what happened at your apartment?
I mean, I'll have to say, repeat it very, very scantily. And he asked me to collect the money quickly. Is this thing working?
Yes.
And come myself personally as quickly as possible to his myself in person to his flat. So it was rather obvious what was up, that there was a gunman involved. Because otherwise he would have given better explanations. He said, "Don't ask me any questions and do what I'm asking you." He's a sensible, quiet type of fellow. So I mean, it's quite clear that something was very much up. So I went to the bank. It took a long time to collect the money because you haven't got that amount. It had to be recovered from the Bank of France. It took a long time. And in the meantime, I warned the police. But I warned at the top because I didn't want some bloody fool to come with his big boots and make a noise which would produce the reaction of the gunman just shooting everyone. So I talked to someone high enough to react like any of us would want to, which he did.
And at what time did the police come in on the scene?
They came in with me. They were hidden when I went in.
How were you able to raise so much money, sir, so quickly?
Well, a bank goes to the Bank of France, can take any amount of money. It's professional.
You went to the Bank of France?
Well, the cashier of my bank went to the Bank of France. It's a routine job to collect cash. No questions asked. I mean, one doesn't. It's professionals.
But how did this gunman get into your apartment in Paris?
Your apartment. We don't live together. He lives with his mother.
Into your son's apartment,
That's right.
David Rothschild.
That's right.
Where he just came, rang at the bell, and asked to see me. And as one is not usually prepared for such kind of scene, there's no reason.
Who was in the apartment. And then finally we got into my car with the chauffeur. And we were just the three of us. The chauffeur, I was sitting next to the chauffeur. And at the gunman's request, he was sitting behind.
And where was your son during that time?
He stayed in the flat. It was finished. He was over.
Could you tell us about the patch on your eyes, sir?
No, it's because when the police attacked the car to capture him, they smashed the glass, and the flying glass just cut my eye, that's all. So it looks very glamorous, but it's only a very, very, very minor thing.
And what kind of a person would you qualify this person who ransomed your son?
Paranoia, if I may answer. Something like that.
Something odd.
He was
intelligent.
He was a young
24,
man.
24.
And do you know anything about him?
No.
Did he say anything on the car drive to you?
No. Only arguing about how he'd get away, and me trying to give him ideas to get rid of him.
Did you think the police that he would shoot you when the police swung the car off the road?
Well, I knew the police were doing a proper job, in other words, trying to capture him when they thought they wouldn't endanger my own safety. And it's only after we've been riding up and down for the best of half an hour, if it was an hour, that they got orders not to let it go on forever. It would be worse to attack.
This ever happened in your family before, sir?
Not that I remember.
Could you tell me where you come in the ranking of the world's rich men?
Where what?
Where you come in the ranking of the world's rich men?
Way down the list. So much lower than anyone would ever believe that if I told you, although I don't know the figure, you wouldn't believe it.
You don't believe there are any political kidnapping?
Well, it's not a kidnapping. You wanted the money. But there's no reason to believe it. I mean, there's no evidence pointing that way. If something turns out of it, it seems highly improbable.
No,
His behavior makes it very improbable.
this young man.
Voilà, messieurs. Excusez-moi, vous êtes sur vous. Je vais raconter le coup de téléphone de mon fils, le fait que c'était long de trouver l'argent. Non, c'est vrai.
Alors, dès que vous avez quitté votre place,
Je me suis habillé, j'étais au bureau, j'ai fait le nécessaire pour trouver la somme, ce qui voulait dire envoyer quelqu'un à la Banque de France.
et après toi, vous êtes allé immédiatement.
Je suis arrivé en temps, j'avais téléphoné à la police.
C'est ça. Et alors, en arrivant ici, ça s'est passé.
And a hole in my carpet, which was luckily it wasn't pointing towards me. And this was the major event during the 2 hours where I spent with him.
When you telephoned your father for the ransom money, how did you get across to him that you were in this sort of predicament?
Well, you know, I'm not the kind who does jokes of that sort early in the morning. So when I asked him to come with 2 million, he obviously saw something was wrong. And I told him that he couldn't ask me any questions and that he should come quickly with 2 million in cash.
Did you know that there's a specific 2,000-year-old Korean food that
Je suis Rina. Je suis Madame de Sissio. Listen. I've already shown you in earlier videos what that was and why that happened. Yes, just listen back with earphones, earbuds, earphones, headphones, whatever you want to call them. Yes. It's just a motherfucking time funhouse. Yes. I will spare you the first video where I recorded that. Spoke a little bit of my own French and some other shit, yes. I will spare you that. Besides, I don't know how it is that, like, they are the victims, yes. And besides, you can hear it in the video, and, like, why does his speech sound like that? Why is the tape doing that? Why do we do that? Slow down, speed up. Things that make you go,